Hi everyone, it's Laura. Welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some of my favorite fall blooms that aren't mums because I have never had great luck with mums. I don't know about you guys, but for me, they just always seem to die on me. So I thought we would talk about some other options other than mums that can provide some really pretty fall color. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I have a couple more spooky DIY Halloween videos coming up, so stay tuned for those. But for now, let's just jump into 5 of my personal favorite fall blooms. I want to start off with an honorable mention, which is marigolds. I think these actually make a really good alternative to mums. They even have kind of a similar look to them, and they last pretty much the whole season. I planted these out at the beginning of the season, so probably the end of May, and they have lasted all this time and they have grown so well with hardly any care. For context, I am in zone 6 in Connecticut, and we have actually been experiencing a little bit of a drought here. So these have had hardly any water for the past month, and they have honestly kind of thrived in these conditions. So just wanted to shout out marigolds real quick. On to the official top 5 list. And at number 5, I have put Thunbergia, otherwise known as Black-eyed Susan vine. This has quickly become one of my favorite annuals to grow. I have yet to grow it from seed, but I think next year is going to be the year for me. It comes in all different shades. I have it here in a really dark red color. Last year I grew it in a white as well. So it comes in a variety of shades. It's super easy to grow. As long as you have it up on a trellis, it should grow really well for you. Very vigorous grower, vigorous bloomer as well. It's just such a beautiful vine. It is an annual here in my zone 6. It's hardy, I believe, down to zone 9 as a perennial. But it blooms all season. But I would say now in the fall is when it really has started to shine. It is just blooming like crazy right now. And the color is obviously just absolutely stunning. At number 4, I have put Sedum Autumn Joy. But I would also include other sedums in here as well that bloom in the fall. There are quite a few sedums that look very similar. This one just happens to be very prolific kind of in our area, and I have a lot of it, so it's one of my personal favorites. But I love sedum for the entire growing season, from the beginning in the spring when it's just coming out of the ground. It has a really nice tight little habit, and then it just looks beautiful throughout the entire season. But in the fall, when it starts to take on this mauve color, it's just an absolute standout in the garden. You can sort of see that these ones aren't completely bloomed out yet, and they still look amazing. It gives it kind of a variation of shades in the pinks. I love the deep pink of this particular plant as opposed to some of those more bubblegum pinks in the garden. And sedums are an incredibly hardy perennial that is just incredibly easy to grow. You can move them wherever you want. They'll grow in full sun to part shade. They're just such an easy plant. If you don't have one, you need to add one. All right, next up is going to be Ageratum, which is also known as Floss flower. And this is just one of my absolute favorite annuals in the garden. It's a wonderful self-seeder. As a matter of fact, all of the plants that I have in the garden this year have self-seeded themselves from plants that I grew in past years. And I have quite a few all through the garden. They come in a variety of shades, from like a deep purple all the way to like this more periwinkle purple, which is just so adorable and absolutely my favorite. And it even comes in white as well. They have the cutest little pom-pom style blooms. They can be a little bit aggressive if you're in some of those warmer zones, so you have to be a little bit careful. And this is another one that I just think has taken on a whole new life in the fall. It really spends a lot of time growing in the summer, kind of plays a background role, even though it is blooming. It's not really putting on a show. Now that it's the fall, it is the show. Like, this is the Ageratum show right now. And it looks amazing. So I think it intermingles really well with my next choice, which is going to be Verbina. Now, I just left it at that, Verbena, because it does have a few different names. So this one that I am showing here can be called either meteor shower verbena or lollipop verbena. They're pretty much the same, although they do list a difference in height. I haven't really found that to be the case. Anyway, they are an absolute stunner in the garden right now, as you can see. When they are planted en masse, they look amazing. So it's like a fireworks show of purple in the front here right now, and I could not be happier. And again, like I said, with the drought that we've been having, I haven't watered these like at all, and they have pretty much just taken care of themselves. I haven't deadheaded these pretty much at all. I did cut them back maybe midsummer, but that's it. And I didn't even cut them back all the way. They have just bloomed their heads off. They look amazing. I love the way they intermingle with the Ageratum as well, like I was saying. And I just think they're a wonderful, wonderful choice for fall. They are, again, really good self-seeders. This is my first year with these plants. I grew them from seed, and I will probably grow some from seed next year, but from what I hear, I think I'm just going to rely on them self-seeding, and we will report back then. And my number one choice for a fall bloom, as well as just a perfect cottage garden bloom, if you have been with me for a little while, you know how much I love Alysum. Although she is tiny, she is mighty, right? She is beautiful. She is stunning. She smells amazing. And I think I have to say she is very demure as well. Yes. So this Alysum I grew from seed. It's super easy to grow from seed, but it also self-seeds as well. This year is my first year experiencing that, but I have a few that have self-seeded around the garden, and it's like just the happiest little surprise. I love Alysum. Their little blooms are so cute. They are an annual here in Zone 6, but they are really easy to grow from seed, so I usually do that starting in the spring, and then I will just cut them back as the season goes on, and they will just rebloom and rebloom for me, because that's just how wonderful they are. And they are even frost hardy. So when the frost starts coming, they will just take that frost and they will let it sit on their little blooms, and then it will just disappear like it never happened. And it's amazing. They really are such a great annual, and I highly, highly recommend that you grow them. They're super easy to grow from seed. If you haven't done that before, give it a try. So that is my personal top 5 favorite blooms for fall. Now, these are all things that you probably are going to have started earlier in the year or have bought earlier in the year. Because as you know, right now, it is all about the mums, you guys. That's pretty much all they're selling, in addition to like asters, which is another great choice for a perennial and for fall. I just didn't put it on my personal favorites list. But thank you guys for joining me for this little top 5 list. I would love to hear what some of y'all's opinions are in the comments below. Let me know what some of your favorite fall blooms are. And thank you guys again for joining me. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!